Hello, wine-drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and our good friend Charlotte in from Chateau Lagrange. And let me tell you, this is a very famous property. You know, when Thomas Jefferson went to Bordeaux on his trip in the late 18th century, he called this his second favorite property of all the classified gross in St. Julien, which is a big area. But, well, this is the biggest chateau in St. Julien, the biggest chateau, I think, in all of Bordeaux. These guys making the best wines they have ever produced on this property. The Suntory Company of Japan purchased them in 1983 and put a ton of money back in this property, and it needed it desperately. And, you know, it wasn't that, that they were the only, it wasn't that the people in France didn't want this chateau. It was just that what was happening in Bordeaux at that time, nobody had the money to invest in a property this large. It took somebody to come outside of France to put Chateau Lagrange back on the right track. And I have to say, from what we had this evening, these wines are once again at the top level of quality. Well, we had the last few releases, which were not very highly regarded by the press, 13, 12, and 11, but I have to say, very charming wines. The 11s, several people picked them as their favorites. The 05, which they sent in from the winery, wow, that was the wine of the night, as was the 09. Those are the two best vintages on the table. And with Bordeaux, the vintage is not an indication that you should buy the wine or not buy the wine. It's an indication of when to drink the wine. You have a great property like Lagrange, they are going to make excellent wines every year. We started out with their 2011 Fief de Lagrange, which is their second wine. This year it represented 57% of the crop. They only make two wines at Lagrange. Actually, they do make a white. I didn't know before this event, which we didn't have this evening, but a tiny amount of the production is white. And this is mostly Cabernet Sauvignon with a little Merlot and Petit Verdot. And this wine had a beautiful, light and seductive nose of cedar, a little hint of graphite and red cherry and plum fruit. Forward and drinkable style, very soft and silky tannins, that lovely red currant berry fruit and fine tannins lasting through the finish. The 11s are very charming right now, and I don't know if you're going to want to hold on to them for a long time, but you don't have to. The 2009, on the other hand, has got good structure. This Lafite de Lagrange, possibly the best Lafittes ever. A nice amount of the red currant and plumberry fruit here, very forward and really rich on the tongue. These ripe, round tannins in 2009, very drinkable, but great structure. Even the second wines love great properties like Lagrange you can keep for 10 years or more. The 2011, well, we started with the 2013 Lagrange in our flight, and this wine, lots of ripe berry fruit here, still very young, some sweet herbs, some new leathery notes kind of coming in there, very forward and seductive. The fruit a bit tart on the finish on the second day. Fine tannins, nice acidity, but tannins are a little bit harsh right now. There's plenty of fruit here, we'll probably round out. But the 12, a lot more charming, very pretty forward fruit here, lots of that red currant and plum, notes of tobacco, a gravelly, minerally note coming out on the second day. Very forward and drinkable, a little hint of bitterness on the end, but not like the 13. This one was very nice with the steak with that wild mushroom Bordeaux natural sauce. The 2011 showing its charming nature here, notes of kind of raw meat, smoke, currant berry fruit, coffee coming on the second day. A little bit more structured than Little Fief, but cut from the same cloth, a very drinkable style, soft tannins, and just pop it open and drink it like a Pepsi. The 2005, wow, this is a blockbuster vintage in Bordeaux. These wines are going to be around for a long time. This wine had lovely concentration, a nice hand of earth and herbs, dark spices to complement that dark currant and plumberry fruit. Really complex and bigger on the second day. That's a sign of a great vintage. You can keep it open for 12 to 24 hours, and the wine just continues to get better. Lots of tannins here. This wine needs time, but has everything in the right place. Was the wine of the night with our group this evening. Most excellent juice, and that's what we had to drink with our friends from Chateau Lagrange. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.